Welcome back to the Football Hot Podcast, the weekend edition of the podcast, the weekend edition that has had so many casualties in the football weekend, except for Barcelona and Arsenal fans. Like we've had issues of sacked coaches, we've had big teams losing games and all of that. But before we actually go into what we have to discuss about weekend games and all of that, we're going to touch on the West Ham coach debacle and stuff with Graham Potter being sacked 2 days before the game against Everton and Nuno appointed some hours, like I think some hours after that. So what do you guys have to say about West Ham and the whole manager switch and all of that?
This has basically been something we've been expecting. I'm kind of surprised it came this late, and I'm also surprised the second fact that they let Graham Potter do the press conference before the game, and then sacked him a day after, and then let another manager take charge for the game he did the press conference for. I don't think I've ever experienced something like that before, where a manager does the press conference for a game, but is not in charge of the game, and then there's already someone appointed already, not one of his assistants, but someone in charge. So I won't say I'm shocked. West Ham fans they've been clamoring for this change. There was a protest at the club ground, I think last week, and when that was seeming like there would be no answers, they took to creating memes and superimposing Graham Potter's face on every
Okay.
imaginable meme you could find. And I even think that was one of
The face swabs.
Yeah,
I don't
some
think that was
skills were
one of the
showing
questions that was put to.
The face swabs were something.
Yeah, that was one of the questions that was asked to him then. He said his 15-year-old child was having a laugh, smiling at the whole thing. I'm not sure he'd be laughing now his father is jobless, but it is what it is. It's the Premier League.
Andrew, what do you have to say about West Ham and their troubles?
Yeah, like Prince said, it's something that we had expected it to happen. We have been expecting it. It has been coming for a long time. Graham Potter, I don't know, probably luck didn't work for him at Chelsea. Didn't also work for him here at West Ham. Who knows where else he's going to go to base Manchester United. They are pulling up a couple of candidates over there, but personally, I don't see anything different. Just quite fast to bring in Nuno. But then Nuno has a Premier League pedigree. He knows how to work around teams. We've seen him do it a couple of other teams before. So I think maybe we're going to see a rejuvenated West Ham side, and they have the players to actually come good. So yeah, West definitely Graham Potter had to go. If Nuno is the best candidate to replace him, that time will tell. But for now, we could just wait and see.
So
That's the thing. They're playing. West Ham are playing their former manager, who they wanted to sack. Who I think he led them to sixth, seventh, and ninth place. Won them the Conference League for the first time in their history, and they sacked him because they wanted to play the West
yeah,
Ham way.
David Moyes.
So it will be interesting to see if Nuno Espirito Santo follows that West Ham way. I'm not quite. Most West Ham fans, from what I've read on social media, have been saying, they have players that can play possession football now, that they got the possession football manager, which is Graham Potter, and all of a sudden they have a manager who is more interested in counter-attacking style. This is in direct contrast with what's going on with Forest and Ange Postecoglou, but that's a matter for another day. So these are professionals, these are Premier League players. I think they would adapt, but it will be a very difficult game away at Everton against David Moyes.
Yeah, so we're going to be moving to the weekend games proper now. Would I say Chelsea are actually in a bad run of form with their games? They lost against Bayern Munich, lost against Manchester United in a very chaotic game, and scraped through Lincoln City in the Carabao Cup. now they've lost again against Brighton, 3 goals to 1 after picking up a red card. That is back-to-back red cards in 2 games, Premier League games. And I would like to ask Andrew, like, what were your emotions or what were you feeling like while watching the game and in full time?
My emotions for that game was so interesting that I couldn't even finish the game. I didn't see the third goal in real time. Sorry, I didn't see the second goal in real time. Rather. Is it second goal or third goal? It's third goal now. Rebel. Yeah, I didn't see the third goal in real time. That was how tired I was of the game. So I found out that it was 3-1 later. In my mind, the game ended 2-1. And then I found out, oh, even in that stage stoppage time, they scored another one. So I think the only bright side for me on the weekend was that a couple of other teams lost. Liverpool lost, the Madrid lost. That was it's like going to check your results on the board, and then you get the D, and you're like, come on, check my dad. Oh, okay, instead get D, check James. James get E, okay. So it was something like that because it was on that terrible showing. It was on that terrible showing for Chelsea because we lost to Caicedo then. The Caicedo on the pitch and everything, and this is the team that we are taking everything from. We took players, Cucurella, Sanchez, we took their coach, their Potter. We've taken everything. We took
And they took the points.
executives
And they
from
took the
them.
points from you
The only,
guys.
the only things we've not taken from them is their uniform and the 3 points they keep getting at Stamford Bridge. I don't know how it keeps happening. It's
We
three
were
visits
playing
in a row
too.
I'm
now.
telling you, man.
Oh no.
3 visits on the bounce, and every time they don't even get a draw. They get full points. It's interesting how we keep giving them all this money, and they keep taking all the 3 points after. We just took the Buanote from them when yet we
Yeah,
don't collect.
I think they took Enciso, they took Bonanote.
Oh,
Who knows?
I didn't even consider Espírito in all of this. But you see,
There's
but
Sanchez as
at
well.
the end
There's
of the
João
day,
Pedro. There's so many.
Chelsea did start the game well. I think when the game started, I felt like okay, we're in possession. A lot of positioning and no penetration, but we're in possession. For the first time in a long time, we did not concede the first goal because in our last 3 games we conceded and then have to chase the game. And this one we didn't concede fine. Enzo gave us the opener. And it was looking good. It was looking like an interesting game. End of the first half, clean sheet. It wasn't great, but it was good. The second half happened, and it just happens again. This individual mistakes, this inexperience, it just shows up from the past to Santos to how he managed it, and then that back pass to I don't know, but then was trying to pass to the goalkeeper on time. I think we're just handing out free flyers, 3 winners flyers at the high. Just give out just like that. Next thing we know, Chalupa had to get a red card. And when Chalupa went in for that tackle, we all knew it was a red card because we were like, okay, yeah, here we go again, familiar. I was just glad that it was not a penalty, and I was just looking at it like, what is that my red card going to do? He made the obvious choice in the Santos change, but again, he found it to be taking out his wide players with Estevao and Neto. I don't know how. Um, every time he goes 10 man down, Maresca just loses attacking. But all of a sudden,
Loses the plot.
I don't understand bringing in Gusto, like everything. It's just funny. Like I feel like with the 3 men, even with the red card, yeah, João Pedro could come back into the midfield, and then fine, we don't have a 9 anymore to compensate for the red card. The front three of Pedro, Neto, and Estevao will trouble that defense enough for their fullbacks to not overlap. What we saw after that red card, all of a sudden, their fullbacks can overlap. See the way they just kept on flooding Cucurella and Reece James. I was like, wow, where was this aggression in the first half? And it was because Maresca took out his wingers. Now there was nobody to operate them. If Neto or Estevao was on the pitch, they won't leave all that space behind to go and trouble the position right back. But then the coach made it easy for them, and he was smart enough to bring in more attackers into the game. Important than Rebecca was gingered to come and show you people that why I didn't know. So
He's not
all of
scored
that,
this season. No.
that experience, it just showed the game, and I can't blame it all on Maresca because I'm not going to sit here and say that Maresca told them to make certain errors or pass the ball a certain type of way. These are professional footballers. Come on. And the Sato should be managing ball better in that position. That third goal has no business happening. They have no business considering that goal in the first place. So you look at all these individual errors and you just wonder what's going on. Is this the centre back parent that is going to go and play in the Champions League? Are we going to go and play? At some point yesterday, I saw Jato and Achempong for Chelsea, world champion, Chelsea, centre back pairing. 20-year-old Achempong, 20-year-old, was it 21-year-old Jato? That's our centre back pairing. I was like, wow.
I think I think that highlights how poorly the Chelsea hierarchy and the board have actually invested in the defense. They've not
It's
invested well,
It's funny
to
because
be
after
honest,
the
if
game, I saw
we're being
reports that the Chelsea executive team went to the players' room to have
as
it. I'm like,
usual.
you go and do what? I don't understand. You did not give them what they want. You won't go para. I don't understand. And do what exactly? Who did not to go and hold? Chaloba, I don't collect red card again. No. Right? When I saw that thing, I'm like, why? I don't get it. Look at all the money you spent. Look at the options that we have. First of all, we don't have a goalkeeper. We've cried and cried and cried. We don't have a fucking goalkeeper. I don't think it can. Okay, I don't think it can cause the person edit down that. Oh, we don't have a goalkeeper. Look at Sanchez for crying out loud. And if there's no Sanchez, what was that other man's name? The Nordic god, Jorgensen.
Who injured
Jorgensen.
Fofana? Who wasn't your situation?
Yeah. You know, look at that. You look at that back, and you're sometimes you're wondering what is going on here. What in the youth football is going on here? And I don't know. It reflects
It's
very very
just so
bad on the
chaotic.
leadership. Very very chaotic. Very chaotic. I don't know
So
what.
chaotic.
There was a portion. I just remember something in that game now. Yeah, there was a portion when Enzo gave a pass to Gusto. That Gusto came back. I don't know. All
Oh,
of
guy.
Ronaldo
there was a
chop.
portion of that pass. No, I don't know. It was the inner Mikel being in just rose up that problem. I'm like, yeah, you cannot go forward. Take that ball back. Could not understand it. I'm like, you could have just played
He
that ball
chopped him
forward
down.
and commit
Even
the
the commentator
defender.
was
You don't,
surprised.
you don't even have
I
to.
think the
You don't
commentator
even
was
have to
surprised too.
go and score. Just commit the defender coming after you to push you and just get in front of him. Let him push you. If you can even move faster and release the ball for them to even better. But look at this guy. I said this inner Nickelodeon came out, he just come back. I'm like, what? What's going on? He's the guy they brought in, for our attacker. Are you telling me Estabao on that ball is going to do the what did you call it? Ronaldo top. What is he chopping? Come on, what
That's
is he
what it
chopping?
was.
It was a terrible
So
game. It was a terrible game. It was at the end of the day, it was a
so
terrible game.
so for Chelsea now, they have a game on Tuesday in the Champions League where Mourinho is actually coming back. It's kind of like a
Special one.
homecoming for him. They have Benfica on Tuesday and they have Liverpool, I think, next Saturday. So before we move to Prince and the whole Arsenal thing, how would you predict the upcoming games coming up for Chelsea?
About how is Chelsea, Abramovich Chelsea, they had the winning spirit, emphasizing to show that difference ahead of time to let you know that there was a Chelsea before this Chelsea and all of that. And then there's Liverpool, who have just lost their first game. And the natural response is for them to bounce back. So, as a Chelsea fan, you just have to relax on your hopes, We're quite bubbly. Yeah, and even in the face of adversity, even when we know that the odds are stacked against us as Chelsea fans, we are always going up there like, of course, we can get something out of it. But the reality at this point is, we don't have the resources for that fan. Like, we don't have the resources for that. With what we have on the pitch and on the bench, and with this propensity, if that English is correct, to collect red cards, I don't know where this affinity of red card just came from. All of a sudden, uh, the red card thing, we were angry with it with Jackson and he left. I thought Jackson went with the red card, but no, apparently it's not Jackson.
The spirit of Jackson.
Like, I don't get it. What is this back-to-back red card? This one happened in the first half. This one happened early in the first half, early in the second half. Look at that. It's not a timing thing. So I don't know. And with the way we play, we just we tend to commit our defenders. We tend to commit our centre backs to play a certain type of way. And with their backs against the board, it just shows all of the practice and experience we have on the team at the end of the day. So I'm going to be hopeful that it's just a fan, but yeah, I don't see maximum points in any of it.
You talked about resources. Like moving on, look at Arsenal. Arsenal have abundance of resources.
No.
They have players coming in to change the game, and this is why I want to touch on Newcastle versus Arsenal. The game started in favor of Newcastle with Nick Voldemort with the header, his battle with Gabriel Magalhaes, and the game switching to Arsenal side towards the end of the game. Like, Prinz, what do you have to say about what's played out today in St. James's Park?
Where do I start from? Where do I really start from? First of all, from the I think I mentioned it in the last podcast as well. I was like, I don't want to see Zubimendi, Rice, and Merino again. I suspected I might see that today.
Yeah, you said that.
But thankfully, I did not see that. It was Zubimendi, Rice, and then Eze in the 10. Then we started out very well. We started very, how I wanted us to start was how we started. We started out very well. I think Trossard hit the post as they had 2 chances brilliantly saved by Pope. So it was looking like this might be our game. This might be the game where we finally win, because we haven't won there in, I think, we haven't won there 3 years ago. We haven't won there. 3 league games now we haven't won. And I saw a graphic before this match that said this is one of the grounds that Mikel Arteta has lost the most. I think 4 defeats compared to the Etihad. So this is a stadium I as an Arsenal fan do not like coming or do not like watching. And seeing the start that we've had with Liverpool away, Manchester United away, and now Newcastle away. So we really needed to win this game. So it was looking like we were going to win the game finally, and the lineup was going to help us. All of a sudden, what happened? The new centre-back that was brought in to replace Saliba, who just signed a new contract this week, just gave a needless back pass that led to a corner kick. And before you know it, they scored. They scored from the corner. And this is what happened again 2 seasons ago, where Joelinton scored. I don't know if you can remember the famous Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, I remember.
The quote.
Mm-hmm.
The goal that was scored in that match was Joelinton pushing, was Joelinton pushing Gabriel to score a header. And that was the same thing that happened today with, Voldemort pushing, with Voldemort pushing Gabriel to score the header. So I thought, this might happen again, another 1-0. And the penalty incident. I do not understand what's going on with PGMOL, or PGMOL as I like to call it. I don't understand what's going on with VAR. Penalty incident, I don't understand how it's 1 week. It means, with the penalty, sorry. I don't understand how 1 week it is, because he touched the ball, is no longer a penalty. Another week is, even if you touch the ball, that does not mean you can go ahead and foul the player. Like, the changes I'm seeing this time around, and this is the same thing that happens in this ground every time. This was the same stadium we had 2 seasons ago. All of a sudden, VAR could not tell if the ball had crossed the line or not. This was where, Bruno Guimaraes elbowed Jorginho at the back of the head.
So
many things keep going on.
Are you coming to the conclusion now that PGMOL have actually been very inconsistent with their decision making?
They are. I'll tell you something. Okay, this is some of the debates I've been hearing from fans of other clubs. Man United fans are saying Sanchez touched the ball first before. This was last week's decision with Manchester United and Chelsea. Some people are saying Sanchez touched the ball first before Abumo,
Yeah,
and then he
yeah,
brought it
yeah.
down. And all of a sudden, that did not matter anymore to Vieira. If you also look at the Chelsea game, some people will tell you that Chalobah actually did touch the ball before he fouled the player. So why did that not count? So I don't get how inconsistent some of the decisions are. That's why I said I don't know why sometimes it is, because you touch the player, because you touch the ball first, it's not a foul. And then other times it's like just because you touch the ball does not mean you can foul the player. So these are things that have been happening. And I'm just saying this, I'm not saying this in like there's a conspiracy or there's a vendetta against Arsenal. I'm just saying this ground is a ground that we do not get decisions go our way at all. The fouls, the inconclusive, the ball did not cross the line, the elbows, the penalties. This is a stadium where it doesn't really go our way most of the time. I know last season we haven't scored there in like 3 visits there. So it was looking like one of those days when he scored the goal. With the, I wouldn't call it a push, but this was the same thing that happened with Joe Linton two seasons ago, I think. So it was looking like we were going to lose the game, but I don't know. After the chances that we had, Trossard hitting the post, Eze as well. Was it before? And Eze as well drawing saves from the Pope. I think 2 brilliant saves that I thought were goals. I mean, Pope was really inspired today. What really baffled me was the penalty decision. I won't lie to you. That was crazy. That every Arsenal fan watching that game must have felt, VAR and PGMOL are out again to frustrate Arsenal. Because this is something we've been used to. This is something that has kept occurring. This is something that happened 2 seasons ago with the whole, was it over the line? Was it not over the line? Inconclusive. Decisions always seem to go their own way. And yeah, it was looking like that again. And when the penalty was overturned, which I didn't think should have been overturned, I was expecting another. What would I call it? Another strange interview again, or post-match interview from Mikel Arteta, where he goes on and calls the VAR a disgrace or disgrace, as he called them last 2 seasons ago. So I was expecting something similar to that. I thought the boys would fold, but for some reason, after they got their own set piece after a needless corner kick conceded by Mosquera, who was a surprise. I won't lie to you, starting this game. I thought it was okay, but then he made that mistake. I call it a mistake. He made the back pass and gave it corner away needlessly, which we should still defend properly. And Newcastle somehow they somehow score from that. They're very good at set pieces anyway, Newcastle. And Arsenal, for all our strengths at set pieces, we seem to concede set piece goals too, for all the goals that we score from set pieces as well. So he scores the same push again on the guy, and it was looking like if we don't get a goal in the first half, I thought we were going to lose this game. But the second half, the game just completely changed. I mean, from the 70th minute where Eddie Howe brought in Elanga, I think he made 3 changes. He took out the entire front 3 and then brought in players. I thought it was going to go strictly counter-attacking this time around. But, Arsenal just pinned Newcastle back to their own half. They had a counter-attacking chance where Declan Rice managed to defend. And if that was 2-0, the game would have been over. But the same Merino that I always complain about, that I didn't want to start the game, somehow was the super sub today. He came in against his former club. He also mentioned this was the same side of the stadium that he scored his first and only goal for Newcastle. So this time around, he scores it for Arsenal. Brilliant header, by the way, because Pope was looking like an octopus today. It was looking like he was going to save everything. He was clawing away balls, diving.
He turned into the Roma today.
I'm telling you, for some reason, that ball just went in, and the belief was starting to grow. He wanted to go out and celebrate. Rice was like, "No, come back. You still have time to go for the winner." And this time around, we got the winner. And it was a reversal of fortunes. I think, considering what happened to Liverpool, they're always the ones scoring the late goals. They consider a late goal to lose the game, and Arsenal this time considered scored the late winner. Sorry, to close the gap down. Because if Liverpool had won their game and Arsenal lost here, which is not in any way a surprise, Arsenal losing at St James's Park, it would have been 8 points in game week 6. Liverpool would have been 8 points clear of Arsenal. So yeah, I was happy with the win, especially it being a late winner, and especially it being Gabriel Magalhaes, and especially also it being a set piece goal. So I would take that. It's not a ground that we're used to winning at. So it was a massive win for Arsenal.
Moving to somebody that has actually been in the social media trend or whatever. Florian Wirtz completed 7 competitive games without giving an assist or maybe scoring a goal.
I know the crazy thing is that while we are doing this countdown, or would I call it count up towards this 007, Liverpool fans will be like, they're still winning their matches. It's 0 defeats, 0 draws, 5 wins or 6 wins or anything. And it's just very poetic that the 007 came at the moment where they lost the game. He missed a very great chance. He missed a good chance. He missed a good chance to actually score today. So it was quite nice. I mean, sad for Liverpool. They're still top of the table.
Yeah. What phase is Oliver Glasner currently in? Because they are currently the only team in the Premier League that have not been defeated. So they've played Chelsea, they played against Liverpool.
There's something he said after there was a quote he said after this match where he was like, this time last season they didn't have as many points as they do now. I think they're in Champions League places this time. He said this time last season they did not have as many points as they do now. But then by New Year, all of a sudden, as the New Year came around and the form picked up and they find themselves in the FA Cup, I don't know, 5th, 4th round, got to the semi-finals, got to the finals, won it, still defended and won the Community Shield as well. So this year has been really, really good for Crystal Palace. It's been a very, very good year. And to think that we at some point during the summer transfer window, it was looking like we might lose Oliver Glasner if they let Guehi go to move to Liverpool, who he's defeated again and again, like 3 times now, and he's also facing them in the League Cup. To think that the Crystal Palace, almost lost that manager. I mean, and Guehi as well. It's crazy to see where they are now. The only thing I think that can derail them sort of is the fact that they have European football this season, and that can kind of play a part in where they might end up finishing. But
Yeah,
for now, as a
that
Crystal
can
Crystal
actually
Palace fan,
impact on their fitness.
let's look it up.
So, Prince, before we round up, what do you think about the whole
Hmm.
Manchester United
What do I think?
managerial search
I mean,
going on?
I need to take a deep breath. I saw a start this morning that said Sunderland are on 11 points and Manchester United are on 12 points since the start of April. That's since last season. Man United are on 12 points and Sunderland are on 11 points. And Sunderland just got promoted this season. They just got promoted. They were not the first, they were not the second, they came via playoffs and they're already doing, strictly better than Man United. So it gets to a point where I've heard you say, it might be difficult for them to sack him because of the compensation they have to pay. But it gets to a point whereby that money you have to pay might be looking more profitable than going to relegation. So at some point you have to do something. But it now depends. They've been through this process again and again. And I think, I'm a fan of a club that's stuck with the manager for 7 years and he hasn't necessarily won much. So I do think that if they can sit it out and sustain till New Year. No, it's not a shot. I'm just saying that sometimes, you really have to trust the process. Sometimes you really have to. So if you go about firing managers and hiring managers, you keep building and rebuilding and rebuilding, and yeah. So maybe they should
Ted
just.
Lasso.
I think they've been playing okay. Yeah, their expected goals and their performances sometimes have been good. It's just the silly mistakes, the goalkeeping issues. But I just think if they can show up, if he can start making bold decisions with his, it's not a case of formation this time around. It's the players that he has playing in those positions. If he can be more amenable, like Arteta is sometimes, because before this week we were saying play Eze, take off Merino. He listens to the media. If Amorim can be a little bit more like that, where he listens, where he's more, you know, he can bend, then maybe there might be a change coming up. But he doesn't seem to be that sort of person. He's even said that the Pope cannot get him to change his his style of play. So if he continues this way, he might lose his job. I have no idea who Manchester United are going to go. I have no idea who Man United should go
He's a
for or who they
pragmatic
want to
coach.
go for. I don't think he is. I don't think he's scared. He knows that he goes back to Portugal and gets another job like that. I don't think Amorim is scared of losing the job. And I think these clubs will understand that Man United they're not there yet. I mean, look at what happened to Ten Hag. He got a job and he's been fired anyway. So they might understand with this man. I don't know what happened there. So I just think yeah, you're right. I don't think Amorim is scared of getting sacked. I think he's even he might be hoping for the compensation. I don't know how he negotiated this contract where he's not scared of losing his job. But yeah, that's where we are. The ball is now in the Radcliffe's court to bite the bullet and make the decision. And let's just see what he does. If he gets Xavi Hernandez, that would be a very, very big coup. If he manages that, from what I've been hearing today, that would be a massive, massive coup.
So we've come to the end of the episode, and hopefully we'll be back on Thursday to break down the Champions League games and everything that's played out. So
See you,
talk to you guys
boys.
later. See you
Bye
soon.
bye.
Yeah, peace out.